Hi there, welcome to the Writing Lab with Eva Poehler. Hey writers, today I want to talk about something that new authors often think about too late, and that is author branding. When I first started publishing, I was clueless. I really didn't know much about it and thought it was just about, choosing a pretty logo. But your logo is only part of your brand. It's really more about the promise that you're making to your readers before they ever open your books. And before you can fulfill that promise, you really need to know who is it that you're trying to attract. I think because a lot of people think that a brand is a reflection of the personality of the author. The brand is like the personality of the author that is, presented to the public. But that's really only partially true. What the brand is really supposed to be is more of a magnet than a mirror. It's what you put out to the world to attract the right audience, to attract the right reader. And so you want to make sure that you first understand who that ideal reader is, because the last thing you want to do is be this like hard crime thriller writer and you're attracting sweet contemporary romance readers. You want to make sure that you are helping the right reader find your book, because if the wrong reader reads your book, you're going to get bad reviews and they're going to be disappointed and you're going to lose sales. People are going to stop coming to you. So you want to make sure that you're attracting the right readers and that those readers will fall in love with you. But it's about getting that branding right. So think like a marketer. And let me give you an example of something. I always thought this was such a good example. I use this in my classes when I used to teach brand and even persuasive writing to university students. Think about those Budweiser and Bud Light commercials, especially football ones. This is a prime example. This is the same company that's putting out two different products, and they are creating two different brands to attract different audiences, to attract different consumers, okay? If you think about the Budweiser commercials, it's always the mama and daddy Clydesdale horses. They're watching their little baby Clydesdale horse pull that beer wagon for the first time. They're watching and hoping he can do it. And there's grandpa on the porch holding his Budweiser, and he's got his trusty, loyal Dalmatian at his side. And then the baby Clydesdale finally pulls it out of the barn, and it's like, yay! And it's all about family values. And that Budweiser commercial is trying to attract the parents and grandparents of traditional family values. And that's what that brand is all about. But now think about the Bud Light commercials made by the same company. But remember that magic refrigerator commercial? There's this refrigerator in the wall, and there's all these like college age boys that are astounded when they open the refrigerator. They take out all the Bud Light, they close it, and then it spins around and they open it and there's more Bud Light, and they're like, whoa, it's all about humor. It's about, youth and energy, and it's about, laughing together and sharing a fun time. So that is a different customer that's being attracted by the Bud Light brand than's being attracted by the Budweiser brand. And it wouldn't be a bad idea for you to look at some commercials and ads and see what are these brands doing to pull in the right people. And it's not only about pulling in the right people, but it's also about sifting out the wrong people. You want to make sure you're getting the right ones. And when I first started this, like I said, I knew nothing and I made mistakes. And when I first created my first logo and started branding myself, my first series was the Underworld saga based on Greek mythology. And so I used a Greek key and did a lot of Greek mythology type things, but I quickly outgrew that logo because Greek mythology, paranormal romance wasn't the only thing I was writing. I was also writing paranormal mystery. And so I started thinking, I want to take people on adventures. So maybe a ship on a wave, maybe that would do it. But that ship on a wave still wasn't attracting the right reader. In fact, the ship on the wave logo almost looked like it was children's fiction. So I just go back and think long and hard, and I finally realized, I want to attract people that are interested in paranormal fiction, because I'm writing paranormal romance, I'm writing paranormal mysteries, and even my dark thriller romances have a kind of paranormal element to them. And so what can I do? And I started thinking, like, what are some representations of, the paranormal? And I thought moon, we see a moon a lot, and moon among the trees, and then moon tree finally came to me. And anyway, I started picking colors that I thought were a little bit more, mysterious and moody. And I feel like that brand is better. And it's not just the logo and the colors and the font, all those things contribute. But it's other things too, like how you present yourself on social media and that kind of thing. So I want you to think about that brand development, even as a new writer. And it's okay if you don't get it right the first time. I went through 3 iterations before I finally hit on the winner. But think about, who am I trying to attract with my books? And you want to make sure that you aren't writing books that change a lot it's hard to create a business as an author if you're writing to too many different ideal writers. Readers, excuse me. You want to try to, it's okay to write in multiple genres if you want to. I do, but you want to make sure that those genres are things that would appeal to the same ideal reader or close to it. Otherwise you might need to create a new pen name and a new brand, just like Budweiser, be the same company but with different brands. And there are plenty of authors who do that, and if you have the energy, more power to you. But branding really is about creating a magnet for the ideal reader. So take some time, do a little research, think about it, ask yourself, what does my ideal reader love? And then try to develop this magnet that will pull them in. I hope you found that helpful. If so, please give it a like. Please consider subscribing. I've got a resource for you down in the bottom called The Story of Science that you can pick up for free. And I hope you all have a great day. Bye.